I've got quite a few things I want to throw in this one. As you would have seen from the start of the video, I painted a round Indian in port red candy with Bondi bronze and metal flake base with the aerosol clear. It came out pretty nice. It's actually hanging up in my kitchen at home, so it does look pretty cool. It gives a bit of colour to my kitchen. So now in this video I want to be flow coating the Mutant Crystal, Sapphire and Apple Red Candy Guard that I painted in my previous video. I want to be flow coating that in this one. I've also got two motorbike fenders which I've paint stripped, I've bare metaled. We're going to be putting it in epoxy primer. Now I'm a firm believer of, before epoxy priming any bare steel, that you've got to rust treat it. You've got to either use a like dioxidine, a rust converter, or something of that nature. Now, I actually don't have any of the cans dioxidine with me here at work. Me being me, I forgot. So I had a look through our catalogue of all the Normfest products, had a bit of a chat with my boss, and I said, look, what do you reckon? And he said, why don't you give the Rednox a go? So let's focus in on that. So basically this is another Normfest product. Now if you're familiar with the 2K Clarlac aerosol 2K clear that I always use in the DNA paints videos when I'm doing aerosol videos, that like clear coat is just wicked. Like it now, staying with the same family, I've got the Normfest Rednox. Now I've never used this before, but it's highly recommended. I've got the data sheet right here. We're going to have a quick little skim over that. Now, I had the option of two different primers. I had the Rednox, which is a wet on wet primer, which is kind of what I'm after. I had another option where I can use this rust converter stuff, but you got to leave it on the panel for 17 hours. Now, I don't have exactly 17 hours up my sleeve when it's 2:30 in the afternoon and I want to get it epoxy. So this product come into my boss's mind and he highly recommends it. So I thought, why not? I'll do a bit of a video on this. This can be seen down in the description. I'll put a link either on the screen or down in the description. Yeah, it's really, really good. So to give you a bit of a rundown on it, I don't want to bore you with too much of the technical shit. But basically a quick little description of it. Protects sheet metal iron parts from rusting further and permanently prevents rust damage, even on parts that have already rusted. It is categorized by high coverage, it's weldable, paintable, fast processing time. Rednox is dust dry in 10 to 15 minutes. Touch dry in 30 minutes. What else have we got here? Can be painted over after approximately 10 to 15 minutes. Mate, you can't get any better than that. Like a rust-proof primer, which is going to protect the bare steel, and you can paint over it after 10 to 15 minutes. Now, to give you a bit of an idea of why I've bare metaled these two parts. Now, if you remember in one of my previous videos, I painted the Dragonfly green candy over the blue on the Harley. Now, he was in a mad rush because he needed to go on a Harley ride with his club over to Ballarat. He was in a mad rush to basically get the bike back so he could get it PPF wrapped, which is the plastic film that goes over the paintwork. He didn't end up having enough time to getting the PPF wrap done. He went on his ride. He got stone chips all over the bike. I think the ride, don't quote me, I'm pretty sure it was like 5,000 Ks they done on this big ride. He got stone chips all over it. He's asked me to repaint the two fenders for him. The tank's good, thankfully, because it got airbrushed by Just Customs. So yeah, thankfully that's all good. That doesn't need to be redone. So I've decided, look, instead of just like spot priming it and all the little fiddly shit, I'll just paint strip it and start fresh. He gets a fresh new paint job, custom respray on his bike, apart from the tank. And yeah, so I've got those parts in the booth now. Now, with that said, let's throw a spray suit on. Let's go check out the parts in the booth. Let's get into it. Let's get some gloves on. So there's the guard. it's all sanded down, ready. Throw some gloves on, and we're gonna get some wax and grease remover. We're gonna wax and grease both of these parts. Guys, so we put our Rednox on that on those two fenders. It's time to mix up our epoxy primer. By the time that we've mixed this, it will be 10 minutes, so we'll be able to just walk straight in and start painting. Now, ideally, I'd like to try and get all the epoxy coats done before I start applying the clear coat on that guard. Doing it back the other way, I could risk ruining the panel for the Autobarn store. I don't really want to have to sand it all down and apply the clear coat on it a third time, so we're going to do that last. So this is the DNA Paints epoxy. I've got it in black. I brought this in from home to do it. I had some left over from a previous job that I've obviously done. So this is a 3:1 epoxy, 2K epoxy. Now the ratio is 3:1, as I've probably already said 10 times. Now you can reduce it up to 40% and use it as a wet and wet primer if you so wish. Due to the application that I am doing for it, I will be going probably about a 20% reduction with reducer, because I will block it all down. I think there was a couple of tiny little dents that I repaired on it the first time. So I'll show you that more next week once this is all dried and it's ready to be sanded. So you can tell I haven't opened that for a while. Oh, there we go, I did get it. I thought the whole thing was spinning. So 3:1, so this is the one part. Make sure that if you are using this epoxy, that you definitely use the right epoxy. So epoxy hardener. It's a totally different color to ordinary hardeners. This is like a yellow, almost like a syrup kind of color. We've got our epoxy reducer. Now, so those lines are by 10s. So we'll go to the second line, 20%. So we'll give that a stir up, a mix, and I'll be spraying this through a 1.3. Now, being that I've reduced it 20%, there's no need to be using like a 1.7 or 2 mil primer gun. It will be pretty much the same kind of viscosity as like the Diamond Clear, 2:1 clear. Very similar in regards to viscosity, maybe a little bit thicker, but you can still spray it fine out of a 1.3. Wouldn't go any lower than that. I'm not going to use my clear gun or anything silly like that. That's pretty much it. So we'll give that a stir up, guys. We'll go through probably 3 to 4 coats over those guards. Doesn't probably need any, like it won't need any more than that. It's not like I'm blocking it with like 120 big long panels and all that. It's pretty easy. Just a couple of coats is all it really needs to seal down that rust converter that we've got on it. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
So we've got the epoxy on those two little fenders. Time now to mix up the custom clear. So 4:1, slow hardener. We want to slow everything down, make sure that clear coat flows right out. It's going to look sick. So I want to be clearing the inside and the outside of that guard, so we'll probably just go up to the 2. If I need to mix up a little bit more, I will. But yeah, so there's clear. So I always get asked, custom clear or diamond clear, which would I recommend? Well, it depends on what you're doing. I personally love the custom clear because of how nice it flows out. You can make your clear flow out just the same using diamond. Now, it depends on what I'm doing. If I'm doing a lot of flow coating, then I like to flow coat with the custom. Do you need to flow coat with the custom? No, you can flow coat with the, that's not good. Can't remember what I was talking about now. So basically, in a nutshell, I like to use the custom for everything. Apart from if I was doing a lot of tape outs or using metal flake, then I would use the diamond. It's a little bit thicker, allows you to sand down the part once you've cleared it and flow coat it or continue painting. So where are we? So we want to go up to the 2. So I love the diamond clear. I just, 9 times out of 10, I don't need to do any polishing on my paintwork, so I use the custom clear. The custom clear is a lot thinner than the diamond clear. Don't get me wrong, it's really good. I've probably said it in heaps of other videos. Diamond clear is fantastic. It's a really good clear coat, like super good. Yeah, that should be enough clear to pretty much do 2 or 3 coats on the outside and probably 2 on the inside. I didn't get too carried away with the inside, just pretty much gave it a quick little scuff, threw some black base coat over it, and called it a day. I will be clearing it, but yeah, I'm not overly that worried about what the inside looks. People are going to be looking at the outside, so yeah, it is what it is.
Alright guys, there you go. There's the guard all flow coated. We got those parts in epoxy primer. So pretty much maybe the next video I'll be blocking them all down. I'll give you a bit of a tutorial on what you're looking for and how to block down epoxy, ready for your body filler or for your primer of choice. With that said guys, everyone have a good weekend and I'll see you next time. Cheers.